Hey administrators, thanks for coming back to D Square Head to have something to take away. In today's video, we are going to understand what are the responsibilities of a database administrator. But before that, if you are new to this channel, I request you to subscribe to the channel as we don't follow a traditional PPT approach to learn the concepts. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. We'll understand the responsibility of a database administrator with a simple example. Let us consider this example. Swiggy application. What are the things that we do with Swiggy? We do online food ordering. We first sign in and then we choose the restaurant, then we choose the menu and then we place the order. These are the four things that we do when we order food online. So in real time, when this Swiggy guys approach service-based company to create an application, the first thing that comes into picture or the first thing to be done is done by the developers. So what developers does, they'll first start writing code for these 4 pages. Let us assume they have completed writing the code for those 4 pages. Once they are done, and if they think that everything is fine, they will make it in a bundle, they'll copy it in a bundle and they'll give it to someone called middleware team. And the middleware team put that bundle in a server which is called middleware server. This is called your middleware server. And you call this process as deployment. You call this process as deployment. And when the code is copied to middleware server, your website or your application is open for users. Like you will get a URL. Let us say in our case, for example, it is https:/swiggy.com. And during the creation of this application, we all know that to sign in, user must enter a username and a password. And it has to be authenticated with something that the user that the credentials entered by the user are valid. Where it is going to search? That is your database. That is your database. So when writing the code, developer might need a database to store some values. Let us say here in our example, it is a table. So when I log into swiggy.com and when I enter a username and a password and when I click on sign in, these details entered has to be verified with the database. And if the details are correct, the response will be given. So at the end of the day, you are in front of your computer at internet, logging into this website, entering username and a password. The request goes to middleware first. That is your step 1. As middleware contains only code but not the database, the middleware has to request to database to get the details. And the database in response to the request sends the result. And if the result is matching with the details entered by the user is allowed to page 2. And this process is called three-tier architecture. Let us now try to understand this three-tier architecture with an example. I have a Swiggy application with me. Let me try to open that application. Right. This is my Swiggy application. As I said, this is the code. This is the code that I have written for my application. And this is the page that is trying to connect to my database. Now let us try to open our application. I'll open my Chrome. So this is my website. Let me try to open it. It is not connecting. Why it is not connecting? It is not connecting because my middleware is not running. My middleware is not running, as we understood in our previous example. From internet, this is my internet. I'm trying to access a page. The request is made to your middleware server where your code is there. Your middleware server where your code is there. As the page is not getting displayed, that means my middleware is not running. Let me try to start my middleware. How can I try? How can I start it? Go to your servers, right click, start. Middleware. My middleware is now just started. Let me try to access my page again. Yeah, see here, my page got displayed. My page got displayed. What is the next thing that I do? I'll try to log in. Click on login, enter the details, username, password. My first step completed successfully. There is a welcome page, and search for food, and you have few restaurants. Let me choose one restaurant and choose menu. That is my third step. Continue. Click on delivery address. What I'll do, I'll try to give the details as November 1 2020 2020, and give the same address, November 1 2020. Click on continue, and I wanted to do cash on delivery, so click on cash on delivery. My order has been placed successfully. My order has been placed successfully. So this is what I have done, and this is what we do with our Swiggy example. Let us try to understand from the database administrator point of view what just has happened. What just has happened. Let us try to understand from the database administrator's point of view. We'll try to understand that with a code walkthrough. So I'll open a code, and I'll try to read these lines. So the first thing is your connection string. Let me copy this, put it here. This is my connection string. Go back. When the user clicks on login, what has to happen? This is what has to happen. So let me copy it. Go back. Let me maximize it. So this is what happening. Copy, paste. Come down, and yeah. When choosing the restaurant, this is what happening. Copy. And the third thing, choosing the menu. So get menu. This is what happening. And the last one, placing the order. So this is what happening. Placing the order. This is what happening. So when I've done the code walkthrough, I understood that for everything that I do on my front end, there is an underlying SQL command or an instruction to database is happening. Instruction to database is happening. So that is what has happened. Let me try to explain it here again. So this is my front end. I'm trying to enter username. What is my username? 9 and then 5 5 and so on, 5 9 fives, and then password is again 9 5 5 and so on, fives, and then I'll click on sign in, When you do this from internet, the request is forwarded to your middleware. Server. Middleware server is where your code is. What is the code telling? If the user click on login, run this query against the database and fetch the results. Run this query against the database and fetch the results. On which database it has to run that query? On this database. This is called your connection string. That means on which database it has to run the query. There might be n number of databases running. Database 1, database 2, database 3. There might be n number of databases that are running. So on which database? What is my connection string telling? I have to run this on this database on this user. So let me go to that database. I'll open my database. This is my database. Where is it? Let me open it. Yeah, I've just opened my database. Select name from v dollar database. So my database is matching. So what is the next thing that I need to do? Connect user. User is matching. So what is the third thing that I need to do? Run this query. Let me copy this. I'll put it here. What is the entered username? 9 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And what is the entered password? 9 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this is what I entered. Let me enter it again. Let me try to do it again. Log out, login. This one 95555 95555. Right. So let me run that query. Where is the query? Yeah, this is the query that I had. Copy, paste, enter, see. The username is test6. That means that means whenever that means whenever a user enters username, enters password, click on login or sign in, the request is made to your middleware server. As data validation happens in the database, the middleware will send a request to the database, and database in turn sends the response to the middleware. And if the user entered details are matching with the database details, the user is taken to the next page. The user is taken to the next page. This is how an application works, or the communication happens with your database. Now let us try to understand. Right. Let us try to understand what happens if this table is gone. What happens if this table is gone? Can a user be able to log in? He cannot. Why? Because when a user enter username and password, the details has to be authenticated with this query. If this query itself is not there, your validation will not happen. So where is my table? Where is this table? Let me try to do some dictionary table check to understand where is my table. It is in users table space. Let me open file name, table space name from dba underscore data files, where file name equal to, sorry, where table space name equal to users. So it is here C app HP Ora data CDB test users 01.dbf. Let me open that HP Ora data CDB test here. My sign up table is lying somewhere here. So if I lose this .dbf file, I cannot access my sign up table. If I cannot access my sign up table, this application will not work. This application will not work. And that is your responsibility. That is your responsibility. What is your responsibility? Always take care of your tables. Where do these tables are there? Tables are there in your database. So ultimately your responsibility is to protect data. How we are going to do? All these are the all this is the secondary. Your only responsibility is to take care of these tables. If this table is gone, you cannot see the restaurant details. If this table is gone, you cannot see the menu. If this table is gone, you cannot place an order. We have placed an order November 1, 2020. Let us try to understand that when I place an order, there should be an underlying insert query. Let us try to see whether the insert query has been placed successfully or not. Address 1 equal to November 2020. Click on that. Yes, I got the result. I got the result. That means my insert has been completed successfully. My insert has been completed successfully. Let us try to do one troubleshooting step. Let us try to do some troubleshooting step. What is the troubleshooting step that I'm going to do? I'm going to give wrong connection string details. I'll do 1. Click on save. That means when a user enters sign in, the details has to be verified with this user, but this user is not there in my database. Let us try to understand how my system behaves. So what I'll do, log off, click on login, give the details. So what it is saying, invalid details, because the details entered is not matching. Let us try to understand it from the console. Invalid username and password, and this is our ORA error. This is our ORA error. This error your middleware team will get. This error. So what is the troubleshooting step that we need to do? We need to cross check whether they have correct connection string details or not. What is the connection string? On which database these details has to be verified. So what is your responsibility? What is the takeaway from this video? What is your responsibility as a database administrator? Simple. Protect these tables, which means protect your database. Let me try to revert it again. Where is my table? Yeah, this is my table. Let me put it back. Click on save. Go back, click on login. Sorry, let me refresh it. Welcome page. I got my welcome page. Thanks for watching. Let us try to understand more about database administration, not through PPTs, but through practical understanding.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. If you wanted to learn database administration from the scratch, please do subscribe to this channel so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much.